My cabbages! Low, man! Oh my God!
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Andrew Esquire, and this is the Legal Mindset where we teach you to be your own judge. Coming at you from the road. Of course, I'll be back in Bangkok tomorrow, but not in my apartment. I have to stay somewhere else. But of course, this is the Legal Mindset where we teach you to be your own judge. We're going to talk about RKI today. We're going to be getting into it. Hope you guys are well. I've got some updates for you, talking about the news, and also talking about something big that I did today that's going to be coming up on Wednesday. So we'll talk about that on a little bit later in the show. But it's going to be a fun one today. Maybe, I think medium, short to medium in length. But it's good to see everybody here today in the chat. I'm here for the scuff leading up with 50 Legal Mindset memberships off rip, giving RKI big
Emotional damage!
I'm here for the scuff says, we want feed pics for being 20 seconds late. I was precisely on time. I was 0 seconds late. 0 seconds late. So no, sir, there will be no feed pics. King Lugia gifting 50 Legal Mindset memberships.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
Thank you so much for that, King Lugia, and I'm here for the scuff. Appreciate starting out with 100 memberships off rip. Thank you so much. K. Kerbal for $4.99 says, first aid fund. How does a man go about cutting fruit safely in Asia? You mango never know. I think has that finger recovered fully? Which finger was it again? Oh yeah, it's this one. Yeah, we're not fully recovering. We're still we had the mango incident of 2025. We might call it the April incident of 2025. I will never live that mango down. I will never live that mango down. Weird says for 5 Aussie, says Legal Mindset. You've been summoned. Angry cops on the unsubscribe channel need help, and a lot of lawyers are going to get some prison time. Ooh, I will check that out. I will definitely check that out. Thank you so much for that, Weird. Jordan Joestar for 1 Legal Mindset membership. Cindy Collins says, good morning, all you degenerates. It's been a while since I played the degenerate clip. That one's always a good one. Hold on, here we go.
Degenerates. You guys degenerates.
But I love you for it. Neutral entropy for £5 says, hey, Andrew, sorry off topic. Have you got the Cinder drama? Yes, I have. I was wondering if I sniffed a possible tortious interference with Cinder at Bow. I've been thinking about, so my VTuber fans, this is off topic, severely off topic, but I have been paying attention to that and trying to think, what's the legal angle? Is there a legal angle, or is this interpersonal drama? If it's purely interpersonal drama, maybe I'll handle that on a members episode or something else. But if there's a legal topic, maybe I can string something together for an episode on that. I try to make sure there's enough legal stuff that can be educational. Tortious interference, I'll have to think about that. Maybe it's possible, but we'll take a look. Dabham Masterson says, you have some sexy feet. Everyone is so interested in them. No, that's just because they have particular interest in the VTuber community, which I know. Talented X is proud degenerate here. Hey, shout out. Bob says maybe the mango was a fruity operative from RKI to give AIDS. We're going to be talking a lot about that today. Also, his walk back, because RKI is now trying to walk back some of his threats, his general threats, as well as his threats against me. We're going to talk about what he's trying to do there today. That it's really hilarious. And by the way, legally, it doesn't matter at all. Short name Salex. So for 100,000 Vietnamese dong, thank you so much. Nico Girl for $5. Has got to love an LM Live to watch while I work. Hey, well, good luck at work. Hope you have a nice, peaceful work. I love that now there are bosses and like their under employees. People have their supervisors watching Legal Mindset. So like everybody's watching Legal Mindset. So if you're all watching Legal Mindset, nobody can get in trouble for it, right? I mean, that's how it works, right? Right? Tara said, recently saw people criticize you for focusing on entertainment. You're a streamer, entertaining you up. Exactly. My whole point is to be both educational and entertaining. I could just be plainly boring and just give you the information in a very dry, formulaic, robotic voice, like, according to Korean statute 22563, it is a tort of the 4th degree if you enter into the premises without knowing about the aforementioned. I could do all that stuff. However, we're not doing that. That's not here. The point is for you to be able to understand as a non-lawyer, as somebody who is completely not in the legal field, to be able to understand these legal concepts, to understand the process, and to walk through all of the steps. This is not a overview channel. This is not a quick summary of the issue that's not really accurate. I want to get as accurate as possible while still being able to communicate it and also still being entertaining. It's a fine balance here. And we're going through the entire process, especially when it talks about Vitali or RKI. We're going through the finer details. And for a lot of channels and a lot of people, a lot of streamers, that doesn't matter, but that matters on this channel because the procedure often is where the battles are fought and won. And for example, in the RKI drama that we're getting here, the RKI case, he is losing battle after battle procedurally, and he still thinks he's going to win the war. But he keeps losing and losing and losing at every stage, which is the important thing to do. Nicholas Atkins says, have some morning glory showers for the Put RKI away team. Thank you so much. Got that goal up there. Thank you guys for that. And thank you everybody who's been supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. It's been great to see everybody joining. We're almost at 150K subscribers, 250K subscribers. And remember, just like a couple months ago, I was under 200. So we're flying up there, and it's thanks to you guys supporting the channel and watching all over the world. Robert DeBeek gifted 10 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you. Max Mura, my boy Max in Tokyo, says, Confucius say, Japanese mango greater than Asian mango. Facto. Whatever you say, Max. Don't Kill Me George 5 Pound says, I heard initially RK was excited about manual labor because he thought the head of cabbage was a job role. I can't remember for 4.99 pounds says, in Scotland, a Johnny is a slang for a condom. Keep up the good work. Well, I condemn, and condom Johnny. Fallen Hero, 4567, gifted 1 Legal Mindset membership. Thank you. And Shadow Gale for 5 said, a bowl of cereal, coffee, and a morning Legal Mindset. Life is good. Johnny Somali continues to catch L's, and I'm here for it. Hell yeah. Agent Strawman said 7 minutes ago, oh no, it's me that's tardy and, well, questionable today. Thank you. Welcome to the chat. Let's get right into it today. So the first thing I want to talk about is a little bit of him backtracking. Now, I don't play Johnny stuff, but I do get sent certain clips, and certain people will send me segments. And it appears that Johnny may have spoken to a lawyer or spoken to somebody in Korea and realized he needs to walk back his statement. In case you missed it, in case you weren't here for it, here is his very credible threat against me. And I'm going to explain why it is a very, very, very credible threat. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to play this one against you.
Legal Mindset. I don't need to fight that nigga. I'll walk past the nigga, inject the nigga with some HIV blood with a fucking needle, nigga.
So that was his threat against me. It's threatening to pinprick attack me, aka an HIV needle, and stab me with it. Now, mind you, this is not the first time that Ramzi Khalid Ismail RKI has threatened me with some sort of physical violence, right? He has in the past said that he was going to blind me. He said he was going to bring in either mace or some sort of chemical acid mix and blind me. He's now said he's going to stab me with an HIV needle. In response, I guess somebody talked to him and said, you gotta take that back. He's tried to say a couple things. Number one, he tried to say it was a hypothetical, which under no circumstance and context, when you watch that whole clip, and you can watch the video around it. At no point did he say it was a hypothetical. At no point did he say this is a hypothetical situation. So that's number one. Number two, his argument is I'm in Thailand, I'm not in Korea, which is not true because I go to Korea for the trials. So there is a time at which, and I have already gone to the trials. So I have already proven that I am going to the trials. I have already said, he's seen me. I've been in the court. Other people have seen me. The Korean news has seen me. In fact, I was interviewed by the Korean news because I was there. And so it's been established that I'm attending these meetings, and I'm going to be at the trial in the future. It is known. So we know we're going to be in the same room together. We know we're going to be within certain distance because in those courtrooms, when he walks in, I am an arm length away from him. If I wanted to reach out and punch him, I could. Now, I would never do that, right? But theoretically, I could. Right? Because that's how close you are when you are sitting in the galley, when you're sitting in the aisle, you are that close to those people. You are literally, when they walk in, they're right there. So he could walk by me and try to spray something or try to stab me with something. It is possible. Now, I'm not going to comment on whether or not he would be able to actually do that because chances are that he would actually, fail because he is a frail little boy and he doesn't have the power to actually, stab anything. But that said, it is something that is credible because I will be there in the future. So what it is trying to do is to intimidate me from coming in the future or from attending the trials. It's trying to intimidate coverage. People say the internet is janky. Well, I'm trying my best. Here's what I'll do. If the internet's a little janky, I will try to bring the res down. So I'm at 1080. Let's try to bring it down to 720. Maybe that'll make it a little bit better. Okay. Maybe that'll make it a little bit better if it's buffering. Okay. Let me get it here. So maybe that's a little bit better. Is it fine? Fine. People say it's fine. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna repeat that. Yeah, people say it seems fine to them. Okay, so reload if you're getting internet problems. I saw some people say it's fine, some people say it didn't. So we'll continue here. So what I'm saying is I will be in Korea, and that is known. I'm attending this this is a press event. This is something that is open to the public. This is something that I have a journalistic interest for the public interest around the world, including in Korea, to cover. So I will be there. So the threat is very credible that we are going to be in the same spot. And he could very well do that. Right now, there's all sorts of other reasons like him being a coward and him being XYZ. But that being said, it's very, very credible. And he has threatened to attack a lot of people. He's threatened to sexually assault women. He's threatened to, if you remember Moxie, threatened to have her gang attacked. And I'm not even going to say the R word, but that was what was threatened against her. There's other people that have received threats from him. So the point of the matter is, there is that there, and people have asked what I'm going to do. Well, everything will be submitted. Now, exactly how and why, I don't want to give away my strategy against Ramsey, so I'm not going to explain in details how, but I've said this. Everything gets submitted. How it gets submitted and when it gets submitted is on my table to strategically screw him over to the max. So everything that I do is to screw Ramsey Khalid Ismail, Johnny Somali to the max, either delay the process as long as possible or get him as much punishment as possible. That is my objective, and that's what I'm going to do. So I don't always announce because we know he's watching. There's one dislike on the video, and that's Ramsey because he's always watching, right? Solon the Lich said, did you sign up for Sakana's Sad Girl Coffee Warehouse? Why is the chat asking for feet all of a sudden? I don't know. Chat gets weird sometimes. Chat gets weird. Sitra Lucha for 200 Thai baht. Songroy, thank you so much. Copen Caps is glad I made it. Been busy recently. I totally understand. It's been kind of crazy over here in the kingdom. Thank you for the 5 Legal Mindset memberships as well. And Marcin Wazak, thank you for the 1 membership. Thank you. Phoenix DS for 10 Canadians says, wonder during the RKI slowdown, what will be happening in the VTuber community meltdown as Cinder spiraling out of control? I mean, this is way off topic, but I'll just comment quickly. I mean, when somebody is, when there's all this information exposed on someone, any personality, whether they're VTuber or anybody else, in that moment, it's going to be a lot of pushback, a lot of severing of relationships. But I'll tell you this. You would be surprised at the amount of bad things that a person can do and still persist on the internet. There's many people on the internet that are still on the internet despite horrible, horrible things they've done. In fact, let's even look at nuisance streamers. Many nuisance streamers are criminals. They've done horrible things. They've scammed people. They've committed crimes abroad and even sometimes in the US. And they're still on the internet. It takes a lot to get rid of people. So, you know, you've got to really caution yourself, even in the law tube sphere. I mean, we've got people that are, you know, that are criminals running around and they're still there, right? There's a lot of people on the internet that are criminals and they're still there. So it takes a lot to get people off the internet. Even Johnny Somali, he is still on, his YouTube channel is still there. Now it's supposedly not his, but it's Hank's, but that's ban evasion that's going around things. So, you know, we see how hard it is to get you knocked off the internet. It's really difficult. K. Kerbal for $9.99 says, do you condemn, or condone that RKA is handing out bans and timeouts on his live stream for overuse of the cabbage emoji? I just think it's hilarious that they try to call themselves free speech, but they literally ban and block everybody. He was crying about being blocked out of my replies, but literally he blocks everybody on all platforms. So he's just a hypocrite. And once again, my policy is this. I believe in free speech. Free speech means you can say what you want to say on your platform. However, as long as it's not illegal, right, which is a big issue for him because he does a lot of illegal things. But as long as what you're doing is not illegal, you can say what you want to say on your platform. But that doesn't give you the right to come over and pollute my platform or pollute my yard. It's like, for example, if you have a house, you can say what you want at your house or do what you want at your house, but you can't take your trash and dump it on my yard. And I don't have to permit that under the guise of free speech. And a lot of these free speech arguments, they turn out to be that. They want to misbehave. They want to commit crimes. They want to do bad things in other countries to other people and just call that free speech, which it isn't. It's ridiculous. Awu Inu for 5 says, RKA meets the U.S. constitutional requirements to be nominated to the Supreme Court, doesn't he? Checkmate. Have to get to work soon. Thank you. HR Hakon for 50 Norwegian krona says, I've been sick as a dog, coughing, sweating, and freezing for 4 days, but I'm so happy I'm not RKA. I just want to say I love your streams. Hey, listen, sincerely, take care of yourself. You know, you only have one body in this world, so take care of it. Take care of this vessel we ride our human experience out in. You know, take care of yourself, rest up, get some tea, you know, take care of yourself, and hopefully you recover soon. I'm glad my streams make you feel better, and I'm glad you're here. Thank you. V-Red Fox for €5 says, RKA cellmate. So, you're Ramsey Khalid Ismail. You're going to call me Huge Rection. Oh, boy. I don't know. I wonder what Huge Rection is in Korean. Or Chinese, because they'll have a lot of Chinese buddies in jail. Billy Aoki for 2 says, 144p mindset. Thank you. Blue Ock Legend said, which of Johnny's charges are felony equivalents? I would say definitely the deep fakes, definitely the child harassment. That is definitely up there. And when you look at the obstruction of business, technically those are felonies as well. But the thing with Korea is it's not 1-to-1. This is not the same as the U.S. system. The Korean system is actually modeled on Deutschland, on Germany, right? So it's not using U.S. equivalents doesn't really work out. And the way that the sentencing is done isn't really the same. It's not done kind of charge by charge. It's done cumulative. They take everything and they put it together and they give one sentence. And it's a total length for all the things they've done. So it's a little bit different than what we're used to in the U.S., which can be kind of confusing. I understand that. Marcin says he doesn't get that it can be much worse. He is digging the hole so deep. A Fitty Trucker drops Fitty legal mindset membership.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
Thank you. Fitty Tucker says, holy lag, Law Senpai. How many OnlyFans tabs do you got open? I'm still looking for Ramsey's. I'm still waiting for Hank X Ramsey. In fact, we'll look at some of that. In fact, you know what? Have you guys seen all the, I mean, you guys, I really think some of this is OF worthy. I mean, in case you guys didn't catch this, because, you know, there was some stuff that went down, some definitely stuff that was OF quality that was going down with Hanky Poo and with Johnny. Let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, this is probably them preparing for their OnlyFans arc right here. If you haven't seen it. if you haven't seen it. This was live. This is Hanky Poo and Johnny probably getting ready for that. Yes, you're going to need some eye bleach after this. And you can thank Fitty Tucker for asking the question, because it's really all his fault for asking this question that I pulled up this photo. Unless if he didn't ask this question, I wouldn't show you guys this. So blame Fitty in the chat. It's all his fault. Really, everything is his fault. All right. Laura Greenberg, thank you for the $9.99. Tisha for Aussie, $14.99. I'm loving how RKI's text-to-speech is now working against him. People are bringing up his dad and telling him to get a vasectomy, and it's pissing him off, but he wants the money, so he keeps it on. Yeah, I have seen that. Now, I've been very clear. I don't approve of going after people's family. I think it's wrong. I think it's morally wrong. I think they didn't ask to be brought into this. I know people do it to piss them off, and because it pisses them off, but I don't approve of that. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's moral, to bring people that are not involved in. I think if you're involved, then gloves are off, right? So Hank is involved. Gloves are off for Hank, right? For Ramsey's involved. Gloves are off for Ramsey. But in problems with their family, their mom, their dad, etc., both of them, they're kind of out of it. Now, I comment on it only because of money issues. For example, in the case of Hank, Hank's mom, who is wealthy, is the one that keeps him fueled. And people want to understand, where are they getting this money from? And in fact, one of the things the Korean media is going crazy about now, guys, and we're going to watch a little bit of the video today. They are really on all the major networks. They are going crazy on the fact that he's running out of money. That to them is the most hilarious thing. And that is probably causing a massive amount of embarrassment. But that said, do I encourage people to attack them or comment them, etc.? I don't think that is, that's good. I really don't. Icy Ruth for 250 Philippine pesos says, I'm from Germany. The law here is weak. You can basically do whatever you want and you won't see a prison. There are people, especially foreigners, sometimes collecting 50 plus without jail. That's insane. I told this story. I had a friend in Sweden who, there was somebody who tried to murder him. A really deranged former roommate that actually tried to murder him. He got 2 years in jail. And it was like he was caught red-handed. The police were there. There was all the proof in the world. Attempted murder, 2 years, and then was back out. This guy, and when he got back out, this is a friend of mine. We used to play this game, Diplomacy. I don't know if you guys have played the board game Diplomacy. Super nerdy. But anyways, we're buddies. We play online games, and he was terrified that this guy was going to kill him. He was terrified this guy was going to kill him. And to me, I was like, that's insane that an attempted murderer gets out after 2 years. Like, that is actually nuts. And once again, that was Sweden, not Germany, but, and I don't know specifically, I can't cite specific cases in German law, but if that's true, then that's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. Okay. I'm here for the scuff. Dropped 50 legal mindset memberships. Ramsey is hurting right now.
Emotional damage.
Oh man, over 169. Oh no, 169. That's an interesting number. Maybe causing a little
emotional cabbage.
Emotional cabbage there. Also, Sarah slipping in there as a member. Hey, Phoenix says for 10 Canadian. Too bad Hank and RKI can't enter the prettiest bunghole contest that a certain Michelin adult bar had. I have not heard about this. I have not heard about that at all. Lord KJW said, would it be wise for RKI to ask for speedy trial if illegal? No, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as asking for a speedy trial. He can. Now, here's the thing. His own lawyers have been delaying it. So if he wants to blame somebody, he should blame his own lawyers. His own lawyers are dragging this out. Warranty Void said, so apparently YouTube has a 4x speed. Time for hyperspeed catch-up. God bless you if you can listen to me at 4x speed. I'm in for the scuff says, you need a chair in the corner of the stream for...
Hell no.
I can just imagine Johnny in the corner. Okay, that's so bad. Winston says, I agree. You have to consistently F up to get scorned. Yes, exactly. And I have a lot of grace for people that make one mistake and apologize. And I know some people have asked me to come down on people that are nuisance, that appear to be nuisance streamers, or they do one video. But if somebody doesn't have a long history of bad mistakes or problems, and they sincerely apologize, I will give them one chance. But if they've continually disprove that and continually F up and continue to act bad, that chance goes out the window. Look, I do understand sometimes people don't know they're doing something wrong. I get it. But when it happens over and over and over again, nah, it's a pattern. It's a pattern. Momo Moogie, member for 13 months, welcome. Aaron Tolling, member for 3. Average Male says, let me work for you as a goon, private security. Johnny Boy won't reach a whiff of your hair. Yeah, maybe if you're in Korea, you can hit me up and maybe we can work something out. That'd be funny. Mike Turner said, should RKI enter the Pain Olympics? I have not heard of that, but that might be what he's doing. Peroro channel, welcome as a new member. Welcome. Rico said, glad you're early this time. Can we get a very bad TLDR? We're just starting here. We're just talking about his cope for threatening me and wanting to get away with it. And I think that's part of this is that he's gotten a lot of blowback for that. And I think he got some talked to by the lawyer, talked to by other folks. But we've got a lot of stuff to get into today. Let's get into it. So let's get into, because we were on the topic of him threatening me with the HIV needle. Let's get into him commenting about being a super spreader. This is just obviously not going to help his case, because once again, you're talking about all the activities you're doing with people, with women, and stuff like this is not going to make you look good at all. So we're going to get this. As obviously a courtesy of a lot of these clips today are courtesy of our friend Johnny So Smalley over there on X. So shout out to him.
But when I go to Japan in 2029, I'm going to pull a Harrison. I kind of like what Harrison is doing. I like how Harrison is doing the super spreader stuff.
So, by the way, this guy, Harrison, who I don't want to give him any clout or attention, but he's talking about spreading STDs to women in Asia, women in Japan, women in Korea. It was really disgusting stuff. And once again, I've talked about this in my other video. If you are intentionally infecting people with STDs, particularly HIV, there are specific laws, specific statutes about HIV that say, yeah, you can't do that. If you're intentionally passing this disease to harm others, right? You're going out of your way to do things like spreading these diseases, you can still be prosecuted. Now, a lot of these rules are still on the books. Now, people were afraid they were going to be used against people in the LGBT community. They were afraid of that. That never really panned out in most countries. But in this case, where you are intentionally attacking people with needles or spreading this in an intentional manner, that would be criminal. And by the way, it sounds like a lot of this stuff would be non-consensual. So you're getting into non-consensuality with these women. But let's continue here.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say it right here to the camera. I'm not scared. If I ever caught HIV,
which, by the way, he's talking about all this high-risk behavior he's engaging in. He's talking about doing all these things that are high-risk behavior, and he's talking about the probability that he does have it. So he's this even him giving this little caveat isn't really a caveat, because he's saying, look, I probably have this because I've done all this high-risk stuff, right, et cetera, et cetera.
I would become a super spreader. I'll say it right now. I don't care. If I ever caught HIV, I'm going to become a super spreader, nigga.
So there we go. There we go. Right there. We've got another, and once again, he always tries to make it hypothetical, but these are things he's going out and doing, right? And taking actions that risk transmission of diseases. Blue Maboo, as a new member, welcome. James Pounder, as a new member, hey, welcome. Phoenix DS says RKI has to be a bug chaser to become a super spreader. Guess the boy was born dumb. Peroro says RKI versus my boy Saiba from Blue Archive. Who wins? Anybody but Johnny will win. Italian Henry says, love watching the video. Shout out from Jinhei. Hey, shout out. Hope you guys are doing well there in Jinhei. Annyeonghaseyo. Michael Rua for $5.99 says, probably currents working, but IMO, both Cabbage Boy and Silver Spoon need to face the music first. Yes. And if they were in the US, they would definitely get accomplice liability for Hank. I was actually we'll talk about a little bit about the interview I had today later. But that's one thing that is unique about the U.S. or the U.S. has very strong accomplice liability. So I think he would be dragged in at this point. Gonza says, I'm at work right now, so try to listen when I can. I appreciate all your hard work and coverage on RK. Stay safe. Thank you very much. I do. I really do. Lauren Greenberg says, I've been watching you for a while. Even my puppy knows that it's wrong to do this, and he's a puppy. Have you been to Israel? I have not. I do want to go. I have a lot of friends who are there, and people I grew up with in South Florida. Maybe they went back on the birthright trip or something else like that. But I do plan to visit Israel one day. It is on my list. I want to look for a time when everything is really calm, or sabai, as we say in Thailand. I like sabai. I like calm. I don't like when things are a little spicy. We'll put it that way. Larry Power says, hopefully RKI's cellmate is a Korean version of Ben Dover from Fletch Lives. Drop your pants. Amanda Main for 5 says, in the best Sling Blade voice I know, what's wrong with him? Ain't got no gas. Brain cells in him. Boo Boo says, all nuisance streamers are monkey. Yeah, they all are a lower life form. Unevolved. Bob says, the only thing Ramsey is spreading and posting is cringe and cancer, respectively. Damo for 10 says, been watching your recaps. He absolutely disgusting and has shown there's no hope. When we thought he had sunk to lowest, he should rot for the rest of his life. Big ups to you, Andrew, you legend. Listen, man, I am committed to making sure he stays behind bars for as long as possible. We need to get all the information we can get in there. And big ups to everybody on the Somali conviction team that's been helping me with that, helping me with translations, helping me get hooked up with interviews. It's helping get this information to the Korean public, which is really the biggest factor in getting him behind bars for a long time. So thank you to everybody that's helped. And if you want to support me, I've got the Ko-Fi that's pinned in the chat. That helps out with the Somali conviction team, the nuisance streamer coverage. So appreciate everybody who's donated there. Mr. Melancholy says, did they catch this Harrison guy because he needs to pay? I'm not sure, and I haven't been following him. I don't want to give him too much attention because he's really a nobody who's trying to clout chase, but I'm sure that all nuisance streamers will get caught doing something eventually. Because the thing is with nuisance streamers is they can't help but stream. And as we're seeing with Johnny, this nuisance streamer tendency where they can't help but stream, it screws them over. Especially in Korea when you're trapped there during the trial. Maybe Archaikus on OnlyFans would get PDFs off TikTok. Hello from Sweden. If he did that, he would be violating the law in Korea because it is illegal to create pornography in Korea. So that would 100% be illegal in Korea. Xylee Gets Sassy says over 5,500 viewers, actually 6,000, and only 291 likes. Come on, people, like the video. What are we at right now? Let's see. We are only at 1,000 likes. We got 6,000 people. Come on, let's get to 3. Let's get to 3,000. How about Tree Fitty? Solace for €5 says, has RK's family made any statements? Not that I've heard of, and I do not condone bothering them or harassing them for them. They don't have to say anything about this. I mean, from Ramsey's statements, he said he's an embarrassment, he's disowned. Same with Hank. That's what they have said. So let's just keep it at that and really leave it. Icy Ruth for 125 says, North Europe is the best. You get a premium hotel and they call it jail. Sweden and Norway does not matter. They're soft. I've never been in any of those jails, so but I'll take your word for it. Thank you, Icy Ruth. Appreciate that. We'll get one more, and then we'll continue. Stephen Miller said RKI called himself a super shredder. He's not seen TMT 2, Secret of the Ooze. Super shredder ended up his own undoing. How ironic. I think it was spreader, not shredder, but I do like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so I'll allow it. Also, real quick, James Pounder for 2 says, first time live. Johnny shot himself in the foot so much. He indeed has, and welcome as a first time liver. All right. So let's get into more of the video. So what have they been up to? The dynamic duo of Hank and Johnny Somali. So what they've been doing is they've been encouraging a communist takeover of Korea. They've been promoting that for a while, kind of simping for the CCP. So you kind of see them here. I'll show the flag waving. They're out in the park with a Chinese flag, kind of simping for the CCP.
Huh? What's up, nigga?
They said the word shibal, which is one of the most common Korean curse words. Very common, in fact. So these Koreans were cursing at Hank and Johnny. At which point they say, what's up? So just to make that clear.
Huh? What's up, nigga? What? Shiba Sakia, nigga. Shiba Sakia, whole ass nigga. Niggas trying to play with us. Niggas trying to play with us. Fuck your mom, fuck your dad. Niggas trying to play with us. Niggas trying to play with us, nigga.
Nigga, you better ride your bike away, little pussy ass nigga. Ride your little trike away, nigga. Nigga.
All right, let's get to work.
Okay, let's get to work. They getting mad because they're not. Never mind. Hey, yeah, free brother Ayun. Brother Ayun.
So they're trying to, engage in sort of this pro CCP stuff. Mind you, by the way, a foreigner participating in any political demonstration in Korea is illegal. So that is illegal to participate in any political thing as a foreigner. You're not supposed to do that. That's supposed to be for Koreans only, and once again, that's their law, right? Their law, their way. Also, Pyro Spent as a new member. Welcome. Johnny admits it. He's a disease, says Ram Recruit. And also, Rigo says, we ain't giving you no tree fitty. How about faux fitty? Thank you. Lauren Gruber said, this is so sick to do. We lost so many great people to HIV. The saddest being Freddie Mercury. Yeah, I know. It's pretty bad. Also, Isabel, I agree. Every time he opens his mouth, I get a migraine. It's pretty bad. So, of course, for this behavior, he ends up getting a fine. Now, I'm going to talk about this fine and what happened here, because the police do show up to this incident. You're going to see, and Johnny actually runs away when the police come. So Johnny runs away and leaves Hanky Poo to get the fine. Let's watch this.
Yeah, step. Follow. And go. Go.
What's your name? They're asking how much is the ticket, Hank?
50,000.
50,000 Korean won.
50,000.
That's about 50,000 right now. Just so you know, let's do a little conversion. 50,000 won to USD. I think that's about $34. That's about $34 fine, right? So it's a very small fine. Now, mind you, they don't have a lot of money, but it's not a lot. It's not like a $1 million fine.
They charge you.
I'm gonna fight it.
They charge Hank 30. This is the perfect. It's actually better for Drew for the PC. This is the perfect angle, and TTS and media works. And I'll connect the speaker too. They gave you a ticket for causing anxiety.
Yes.
But Hank, you gotta fight that.
I'm gonna fight it.
Because who's the victim of the anxiety?
So this is actually, so I'm going to tell you guys something. This is like probably the only time I'm going to say this, which is kind of insane. But Hank will actually probably win this one. I know this is crazy, but I have always been the one to give you honest reporting and been the one to speak to Korean lawyers and people experienced in the Korean legal system. Hank will actually probably win this one, according to all of my sources inside Korea, because according to the sources, what they did was not really a huge crime, and they can challenge it. They can challenge it in a way that they'll just drop it. So it's probably, if Hank fights it, he probably will win, is what my Korean sources say. That said, does it make him look worse? Yes. Does the submission of those facts to the court make him look more of a disruption and more of a problem? Yes. But the fine itself, which is a very small fine, right, is not really, first of all, even if he wins it, it's $34. Somebody says, is that Hank Yu? Yes, it is Hank Honjong Yu, right next to him there. So while he may fight it, and he will probably win, according to my Korean sources, the bigger issue is the fact pattern, that he is continually being disruptive. He is continually committing crimes. He's continually going out and pressing his luck. He's continually confronting people. And we'll see right now here, he actually went out with like a little can of pepper spray, and he was confronted like in minutes, within going out outside. Let's watch
I
this.
would limit my freedom to extra.
Yes. Somebody else. Hi. 친구. What?
What the fuck?
Yo, Yo, wait.
안 때릴 테니까 가.
Why you wanna fight, 친구? 친구. You live, Africa TV, live.
얼굴까지 말고.
Africa TV,
Get the fuck out of here. You're too
Africa TV.
God damn it. Fuck, man.
Look how they wanna fight us.
Alright, man. Let's go.
Yeah. Back away.
Of course, by the way, I want to be real clear. This is all fake tough guy stuff because Hank is a fake tough guy. He files charges and calls the police in 2 seconds, right? He also remember the only fight that Hank got in when there was the fight with the several people, including like two guys and a woman versus Hank and I think Johnny. In that fight, Hank got his ass kicked. He got absolutely destroyed. In fact, even a girl pretty much beat Hank up. So Hank got in the only fight we've ever seen Hank on TV. Hank has gotten destroyed, and he is absolutely embarrassed about it. Some people in the chat were asking Africa TV. So that is a Korean streaming platform. So one thing you got to understand is, and the Africa TV has actually changed its name in Korea. Also, somebody asked what Chingu means. Chingu means friend. So he's trying to say, oh, we're friends. We're not friends, right? No, you're not. That's like saying bro. And it's like, I'm not your bro, essentially. Right? These people are saying we don't want anything to do with you. So that's a clear thing up. Yeah, it's not him making something up that sounds racist. It actually was a Korean streaming platform for real. Let's get some of these questions here. Phoenix says, I bet Hank's family are just shaking their heads in disgust that he's ruining the family name. Yeah, he's absolutely been embarrassing them, and that's part of the reason why he's getting like relatively cut back from what I hear financially, and why they're running out of money, because the parents don't, or the mom or whoever else doesn't want to fund Ramsey Khalid Ismail's whole legal team. You know, they don't want to fund this. It's going to cost him tens of thousands of dollars, and they don't want to pay for it. Timo Kusela, welcome as a member. Betten says, looking forward to RKI being forgotten in prison. Me too. Malkosh, member for 6 months. Thank you. Fitty Tucker says, can Dalgoon beat his $10 million fine? We'll talk about that later. I've got that pulled up. We'll talk about that because Johnny was kind of bragging about it. So we'll get to that later. Damo for 5 says, Hank is the bluntest tool in the shed. Also saw 15 minutes that the vasectomy thing is triggering him. Yeah, and once again, in fact, I'll go ahead and say, I don't support that. I don't support people who cover that. I think that bringing in people's family is low. So, I think that's supporting that or promoting that is a low blow. And once again, are you much better than them if you're automatically going for low blows that are unnecessary, right? But that said, people in his chat are nasty people. His own audience are the people that are often trolling him because his own audience hates Johnny. Natasha says, what's jacked Newscum made that non-disclosing of HIV no longer a crime in California. This state is SOL. Now that, imagine that with OF, yeah, that's going to be weird. Yes. Uric Serena, Ginblade says, RKI will spread the soil on the cabbage farm. Megan says, even working women don't want to take their money. Yes, that's true. Alex says, I'm Chinese in South Korean prison and very excited to meet Johnny. Very, very excited. Michael Rua said, how would he do the spreading? Well, he'd have to pay somebody because that'd be the only way. And I don't think he's got the money. Jordan Joestar for 50 says, hope RKI will get 50 years in prison. Ryan says it's his plan on how to make money on the cabbage farm. And Kay Kerbal says, more members than the average RKR live viewers. Yes, we now have on this stream, in terms of new members, we almost have, what are we short? We're 164, 174. So we're almost 200, which is more than his real viewership numbers. Karl Heinz Grabowski said, Somali will pick cabbage, but not in Minecraft. And Mr. Melancholy says, RKI and Hanky are softer than wet tissue paper. Couldn't agree more. So on this day in which he went out and did all these things with the flag, and he did all these things with confronting people with pepper spray, police came twice. So let's play this.
What you want? What do you want?
조용히 해야 돼.
Huh? I'm YouTube live. I'm calm down.
calm down.
I'm calm down. What the hell do you want from me, nigga? I'm calm. Calm. Okay.
조용히.
What's the problem? I swear to God, I told y'all niggas. What you want from me? What?
조용히.
진영이, come.
이거 뭐야 이거?
Biogo, I bought 7-Eleven.
이거 들고 다니지 마.
It's calm.
어?
I'm calm. My house, I go my house now.
이거.
I go home, I go home. I go home now. Now I go home.
다운.
No problem, I go house.
Remember, and guys, remember, all of these incidents, all of these police interactions can be turned over to the prosecutor and say, look, he's doing X, Y, and Z. Because while they might not be criminal, remember, sentencing, because he's already pled guilty. He's already pled guilty to 3 charges. Sentencing takes up in consideration all of your behavior. So it can take behavior that is not necessarily criminal and use that for sentencing, can say this is relevant for how long he should be punished. They can say the cops had to show up 50 times, 60 times, 70 times, and each one of those can be used as evidence for sentencing to aggravate that sentence, to make that sentence work. These things can layer on. When the judge is thinking about how much to punish him, he doesn't just have to think about the stinky fish or the cup ramen or whatever else, the bus, or the deep fake. He can go beyond that and look at other facts in order to sentence him. And yes, Ed Scissorhands, this is incredibly disrespectful to Koreans, which can also be considered, right? That this is something that people will do. They will come to Korea and they will try to disrespect Korea. They will come to Korea and they will target it because they see it as weak. So yes, they can factor that in. And sorry, if you may not think that's fair, it doesn't matter. That's the way it is. So Somali is digging himself a deep grave, and at this point, there's no turning back for him. The only thing he can do is make more content because that's all he's got. Neko Girl 862 gifted 10 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much for all of the members. If you received a membership, please say thank you, and thank you, everybody.
Yes.
Isabel Duncans for 2 says, is RK even aware his viewers are against him? I think he knows that on some level, but he kind of likes it. There's a Schadenfreude in German. There's kind of a dark pleasure in what's going on there. It's weird. It's very weird. Rigaby says, apparently there's a theory that Hank is the one secretly betraying RKI as if he knows he can live like forever. Okay, let me just talk about that. I think that Hank will turn. It's just a matter of when. And we're going to see that happen eventually. As soon as Johnny is not buttering his bread or offering up his services to Hanky Poo, the relationship will melt, right? As long as Hank is there because it's beneficial to Hank right now. It's giving him the attention that he never has had in his life. But as soon as that dries up, as soon as that goes away, I guarantee you that relationship melts because they're really not these strong friends, right? That's not who they are. That's not the people they are. They don't have these like deep bonds. So let's go ahead. I'm going to fast forward here a little bit and let's watch the rest of this of him getting stopped by police.
What do you want? What? Huh?
이거 찍으면 안 돼.
Go away from me.
찍지 말라고.
Yeah, I'm scamming, nigga. Nigga, go away.
찍지 말라고.
Nigga, go away, nigga. What do you want?
찍지 마.
My face.
너 비디오.
My face.
찍지 말라고.
Shiju balago, nigga. Go away.
들어가.
Okay, go.
Police don't have to go
Okay,
anywhere.
bye-bye.
들어가.
Okay, go away. Go.
들어가라고.
I go my house. Don't look. Look that way. Okay, look that way. Look, don't look. This one, don't look. Turn this way. Password, no, turn. Password, turn that way.
Nick H sent $3. We still need them on our reports debate. Too busy.
Walk away, bitch. Turn away, stupid ass nigga.
I love how he tries to think he's tough and he's bossing the cops around, and they're just tired of his bullshit, right? I mean, that's really the answer, is that they're just tired of his BS, right? They're just absolutely tired of his BS. Okay. So let's read some of these here. Phoenix says, guess we're seeing Schrodinger's cabbage, both picked and unpicked, and soon to be picked for a long, long time. And the thing is, what we're seeing is a Groundhog Day. He is stuck in a hellish Groundhog Day, where every day he wants to leave Korea, he can't leave, so he ends up digging himself deeper and deeper and deeper by going out and committing crimes, going out and annoying people, and just pissing off the police, pissing off law enforcement, which talk to prosecutors, which talk to other people, and this all goes on his record. So it's just digging him deeper and deeper and deeper into the hole. Michael McLeod says, wasn't he forbidden by Korean law not to stream? This is the biggest piece of information that people struggle to understand. It is an immigration law. It is an immigration rule. Immigration enforces that. They're kind of separate from the prosecution office. So what they could do is they can deport him, and they, I think, can fine him as well for working without permission. And they can do that when he leaves. When he leaves, they can, on the way out, say, by the way, in addition to all this other stuff, you also have to pay us for this illegal work, right? Because they're kind of two different offices. Think about it like in the United States between the state government and the federal government, right? So if you commit a crime, the state government can punish you. Let's say you live in Georgia. The Georgia police can punish you, and the feds can punish you. They can both punish you on different counts, different grounds, right? So that is kind of what we're dealing with here, two different areas. So it's an immigration rule. The court did not say anything specifically, although they can and they may. KWG for 5 says, hey, Slip and Mindset, we're going to make your AMC debut in the new show, Better Contain Somali. Oh, I'd love that. Mickey Andrews, hey Mickey, says it's funny that the cops keep telling him to be quiet in Korean. Yeah, I know. He hasn't bothered to learn a modicum of Korean since he's been there. And he's still absolutely rude and ignorant, as always. RW says, so this is Hank Johnny's receptionist. Clearly he works under him. Jazz says for 25 Romanian, poor policemen, I think they're full of RKI's poopy head. Yeah, they're done with him. They're over him. They're really sick. They actually hate him. Damo says for 5 Aussie, speculation about Hank calling the police and joining Somalia due to being in trouble and receiving a fine for the flag incident didn't get their couples massage. There's also a theory. Now, this is a little bit of drama. Sorry, this is a little bit of drama. This is a little. In fact, we'll pause from the legal coverage for a second.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
Now let's do it this way. We're now entering the legal tea set. All right, I'll do a little. I don't have tea, so let's sip some water here. So here's the tea, which is completely non-legal, completely irrelevant, but perhaps entertaining. It is rumored that Hank has a certain boy toy, or perhaps femboy toy, that is kind of creating a little bit of a love triangle with Ramsey, and that there's a little bit of friction in the sheets, a little bit of trouble and the homestead, a little bit of that little triangle, the femboy triangle, going on between Ramsey, Hank, and this third mysterious person who has not been revealed, but who's been teased, that may come soon, that may come very, very, very soon. So we're waiting for the reveal on that third person that may come out here in the near future. There's video of that. I have it somewhere. I watched it. I didn't have it queued up, but it's very interesting. It's very interesting. So with that, let's get back to the regular show.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
Okay, back to the legal stuff. Welcome. We've got one last thing I wanted to show. This was kind of the other, I believe this was the other day, but this is kind of him screaming and yelling about the mental asylum. And I just wanted to bring this one up because of, well, all of the insane, all of the insanity plea nonsense that goes on with you guys. And you guys are always bringing up insanity pleas. So here's some comments about the mental hospital from the other day.
Nigga, bring me to the mental hospital, nigga. Yeah, it's to help my court case. It's gonna help my court case, nigga. Bring me to the mental hospital. Nigga, call the police right now, nigga. Shut up, nigga. It's gonna help my court case. Bring your police now, nigga. Bring your police now. Put me in the mental hospital. Now. Y'all niggas can't put me in the jail. Put me in the mental hospital. Put me in a mental hospital. Now, nigga. Put me in a mental hospital right now. Put me in a mental hospital. Y'all niggas gotta put me in a mental hospital right now. Let's go. There's a nigga outside going crazy. Call the police right now, nigga. Hey, call the police right side right now, nigga.
So, yeah, someone sent me this one, and that's from an earlier time. But once again, they're not going to put him in a mental hospital. And by the way, mental hospitals in Korea or Japan are much worse than any prison. Are much worse. But he ain't going anywhere to a mental hospital. That's still not happening. Insanity plea is still not happening. He's still ineligible. But it was funny, and thank you for the person that shared that with me. It was an interesting little clip. Hijikata with for 10 says, never did get a chance to say this, but thanks for all the coverage on the bad actors. It's been an entertaining journey and amazing how deep the hole will be at the end of it. I'm committed to stopping nuisance streaming at large. So whether it's covering Vitaly in the Philippines or him over here, Ramsey Khalid Ismail in Korea, we've got DBR, we've got Goggin, some of the other nuisance people, the IP crew that was hanging out in Japan. I'm pretty dedicated to stopping the trend of profiting off of these countries that are perceived as weak and disturbing their culture, which is peaceful and high trust, and which is they're ruining for everybody. They are making people scared. I get people still scared to visit Korea, Japan, Asia because of these people. And it actually is hurting both the locals, the expats, people like me that live here abroad, and the tourists. It's hurting everybody. So this is not good. And this is an issue that everybody is united on. It's not something that is liberal or conservative. It's not something that is Asian or American or European. This is a global, these people are jerks and assholes and bullies, and nobody likes them. Nobody. Puka Darling, as a member, welcome. Mascallo says, did somebody say insanity plea? Indeed. Andrew S. as a new member, thank you. Richard King Gibson from Kamichan says for 10, hopefully the Korean media will keep him in the news and the government will expedite his trials and additional charges. Yes, just for fun. Send him to the Philippines. We'll enjoy the show. I'm going to talk about this in a second. We got an interview to watch here in a second. Sorry. Well, I'm going to talk about my interview after we watch a video on the Korean media. So McSkitties, as a member for 3 months, became a member to make Johnny cope and seethe. You know he's coping and seething. Let's play a little bit of the video.
You are coping, seething. You just can't.
Johnny is coping hard today. Also, we hit our goal today, so we know that Johnny is coping to the max. Thank you. Pretty Bew Lolo Gator, welcome as a member. Christopher Tillery says it's amazing that he still thinks that a mental health defense will save him from prison. It's insulting to those that actually have mental health problems. I appreciate your work. Yeah, he's actually already pleaded guilty. He already missed his opportunity to even plead insanity or, present anything like that. Shadow Imagery for 10 says, when Edward Snowden said, you mustn't change your behavior because a government agency somewhere is doing the wrong thing, this is not what he meant, Ramsey. Go F yourself. Yeah. Gian Novak for 5069. Check says, I heard you like Diplomacy. Yes, one of my favorite board games. When are we starting the campaign for North Africa? I found a digital version tabletop sim in our stream. Oh, I'll have to check that out. That sounds cool. I will check that out. I'm a big, I used to play Risk, Diplomacy, a lot of old games I like a lot. Axis and Allies, really fun games back in the day. Ryobi for 10 Canadian says, I imagine where Hank would make a op-ed or a stream where he puts all the blame on RKI, even though Hank was everywhere and did everything and actively chose to do so, like Cinder. I love how you're connecting them. I love how you're connecting VTubing and RKI. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Phoenix is RKI getting double teamed and tag teamed by different arms of the Korean government. The most action RKI has gotten in a long time. RKI is the GIP, better than Pulp Fiction. Now hold on. Hank has been taking advantage of those services for a while. I'm here for the scuff says, these goddamn road pirates are harassing me. Frank says, Johnny will be spreading something else in jail. King Bob's Queen says, Johnny Somali proof his father should have worn protection. Oof. Nick Atkins says, Korean police should have gone above and beyond with their self-control. RKI would have been Rodney Kinged by now in the U.S. Ooh, that's bad. Ryobi said for 5. So essentially RKI and Hank are like Satan and Saddam from South Park. Which one is Satan and which one is Saddam? I'll let you decide. That's for the audience to decide. Captain Colombo said, Asia is so tired of nuisance streamers. Even Hello Kitty said goodbye. Thank you, Rebecca, for the 2, and Tatiana for the 2. Thank you so much for that. Amanda said, for some reason, the scene from Suicide Squad, you're messing up date night, comes to mind. I'll answer this one, then we're going to continue. Oh, actually, I'll answer two more. Escopto for €2 says, do you think he's a disowned brat? Yes, I think he is very spoiled, and I think he has not seen real consequences in his life. I do believe that. John is a new member, welcome. And the seventh Elo Sin says, can Korea label Johnny Smalley as a terrorist and hit him with terroristic crimes due to all the threats he's spewing? And how does someone who is labeled as a terrorist get on an international no-flight list? I think the thing that needs to happen, guys, is the U.S. needs to revoke his passport. We really need to push the ambassador for the U.S., the ambassador to South Korea. We need to make sure that they know that they need to revoke Ramsey Khalid Ismail's passport. I think we need a campaign for that, because it is something that needs to happen, because this person should not be allowed to go about, and he's already guilty of these crimes. So he's already pled guilty. So effectively, he is guilty of these crimes, and he is going to plead guilty to more. So I think especially after we get the next court date where he's going to have to plead for the deepfakes and maybe even for the harassment and the new obstruction charge, I think that's going to be one of the next moves. Here we go, is to get rid of this guy's passport so he is stuck in the United States and he has to deal with U.S. law and U.S. consequences. Professor Keene says, you started early, just got here. Dude, you're like an hour late. Like, I may start like a little late, but not an hour. Not an hour. Big Buddha says, it's so satisfying watching Hank to fall with him. That would be nice. Warranty Void also dropping 20 legal mindset memberships. Thank you so much.
Emotional damage.
All right, so let's get on with it. Okay, I want to mention this real quick. So Dalgoon, the UDT guy who took out Johnny Somali, he is now, this is actually misinformation. He's not yet facing 10 million won, which is $7,000. It's actually only right now 1.5 that he's been charged with, but he estimates it will be 10 million won. He doesn't know, so it actually may be less. But some people have asked for this to put out there, so I'm putting this out there. He has a PayPal to help him out. If you want to, you can do it. It's up to you. But he is his legal saga is coming to an end, so he is getting no jail time. So Dalgoon, the guy who punched him, the UDT SEAL, who I interviewed, he is getting no jail time, but he is getting fined $7,000. Now, to be clear, Dalgoon has made tens of thousands of dollars from this, but he's asked for some support, some help. He's put out that PayPal. It's up to you to help him. That information is there if you want to help out Dalgoon. And it's good that he didn't get any jail time. I'm very happy about that. And soon we may be able to release the full interview with him, which I really look forward to once all of that is official. Now, Johnny, the one thing I want to make clear about that 10 million won, which once again, $7,000, it does not go to Johnny. Let me say this one more time. The 7,000 does not go to Johnny. It goes to the government. It goes to the government. So Johnny does not get a penny. He gets zero. He gets nothing. So Johnny is not getting any of that money. So when Johnny tries to make this seem like a win for him, it's not. He got his ass beat, right? So that's not, yeah. So even people are saying in the chat, what is it, 7K for, yeah. Yeah, his hand hurting sounds like a good deal. Yeah, there we go. So a lot of people are saying, Dalgoon explained this, RKI will listen. Yeah, and RKI is not getting a cent of that money. So just understand. But he does appreciate everybody's support. We do talk on a regular basis. He's a good guy. So yeah, that's my comment on that. Mike Turner says, RKI is no Dwight Fry. No, he is not. No, he is not. We've got Calabi for 5 Singapore. If RKI gets game ended in prison, he will finally have a purpose to exist as cabbage fertilizer. But eating it will give a disease you get to name. P. Dell for 5 getting his thoughts on RKI trying to be put in a cell or mental hospital where he can be fed for free since Hank can't keep up feeding him. I'm okay with him going to a jail. He will not go to a mental hospital. However, I think they should just let him out. Keep Hank having to feed him. The system is working. The Korean system to drain their money is working. Sarah for 5 says, I've been to Japan twice. I always make an effort to follow the rules and learn the language. I'm a visitor. The onus is on me to not be an a-hole. I agree. I follow the exact same rules. When I am in their country, I follow their rules and I follow their culture. That's to the best of my knowledge and ability. If I don't know something, I can make a mistake, but if someone tells me, I will correct it, right? I will do something different. I will change what I'm doing because, I don't want to be disrespectful in terms of, anything in that country. I want to be above board. Mr. Melancholy says, RKI is channeling his inner Eddie from Ed, and Eddie. He loves to dig a hole. Dark Canister says, I fear South Korea's approach would attract nuisance streamers who plan to provoke citizens dodge bans as a challenge. Hope South Korean law will be on top of it. Once he gets sentenced to real jail time, I think a lot of that worry will go away. John Vassy said, if Hank dropped him, could he be charged with vagrancy like pre-1998 Olympics? Thanks again for the news. Nice to have a trustworthy source. Thank you. I am the direct source for a lot of this information, and I try to give the accurate information without exaggerating or clickbait. Even today, I even told you, I think the flag charge, the flag fine, the $34 flag fine, I think Hank's going to win that. And that's what my sources in Korea have said. And I'm not going to make an argument that I feel is unsubstantiated by Korean law. So, everything I say is based on the best information I get from people in Korea that have experience with the criminal law, lawyers, Korean lawyers, other lawyers that are from other countries. So I gather, and also court records. So I'm gathering this raw data and I'm feeding it to you guys. Richard Gibson, comment chat, says, think Hanky Poo will face similar charges for being an accomplice? Mahalos for clarifying all the issues. Keep up the great work. Aloha. Well, I guess you're there in Hawaii, obviously. I don't know about Hank. I have doubts about Hank. I really do. Flora Nova says, I really respect your commitment to accuracy. It's important. And honestly, here's another thing. It's important to clarify when I'm wrong. And if I make a statement that's wrong, I promise you guys, as a chat, as a community, as a group, I will say I was wrong about that, or I will issue a clarification. Oftentimes, what I need to do is explain more and why I said something or why I pushed for something. But I try to be accurate. Even now, for example, with jail time, the judge could still give him a suspended sentence, even if he's guilty of everything. And he could technically serve no time in jail. It's possible. I think the possibility of that is below 5%. I think there's a 95% chance he gets some serious time in jail. But I have to be honest that, there's certain things that are possible. But possible doesn't mean probable. Ryobi said, Daogun is a champ for his country. I agree. Phoenix DS says, RKI felt a disturbance in the force. The sound of 10 million toilets flushing money down the drain before suddenly going silent. Kyria says, keep him in a mental and charge him the housing fee. That would be nice, but they don't charge him. Robert Von Beek for 20 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much. Getting a big...
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
He's not happy with that one as we hit almost 200 members here today. We're at, I think, 199. Thank you guys for that. Who asked this one? Oh, Damo said, are you and others like Atozi attending the next hearing? A repeat is in order. More donations for coping and seething, making up for last time. I'll say this again. I will be attending hearings, but I am not going to announce which one. Partly because they're making threats against me, right? They're making very credible threats against me now. So I'm going to attend, but I'm not going to say which one I'm going to be at. So I will be going. And Atozi has actually talked to me and said he's going to go as well. So, but I'm not going to say which one he's going to, and I'm not going to say which one I'm going to. But we will be going. Jade Saldus says for 250, I feel like we're disrespecting cabbages by using it in the same sentence as RKI's name. No. The cabbages are above him. We know the hierarchy. Also, Donnie, welcome as a new member. All right, let's get to this media thing. Okay, so Korean media is on top of Johnny. This is a subtitled, so mind you, there may be some errors in the subtitling, but this is an 8-minute piece that the mainstream Korean news did on Johnny Somali. And I want you guys to pay attention to what they're focusing on. Because before this, Johnny Somali was like a little segment in the news, like a 10-second segment. The news are now doing full segments. So 8 minutes is a full news segment on Johnny Somali and nuisance streamers. So this is huge. This means that the public is now focused in on this case and wants severe punishment for this guy. And pay attention to what Korea is looking at in this. This is something I haven't seen any other channel bring up. But mind you, these are things that Koreans are sending me. So oftentimes what you guys think matters is stuff that maybe like Asmongold sees, or what other reviewers might see or go over, what Atozi brings up. But to be honest, and I love Atozi, he's my bro, but what Atozi covers isn't necessarily what matters to Koreans. He's talking to an English-speaking audience, and I try to synthesize both information that's important to Korea and information that's important to America. But what's really interesting is watching these videos, because we see what Koreans care about. And that's what we can try to communicate to the prosecutor, communicate to the judge, to try to get him behind bars, to try to speak their language, to try to do what Johnny never did in understanding Koreans and understanding their interest and not just thinking of yourself. So let's go over this and let's watch this video. Once again, this is KBS. This is a major news channel doing a segment on Johnny Somali.
는 외국인 남성. 온갖 추태와 부적절한 행동으로 무리를 빚은 미국 국적의 유튜버 조니 소말리입니다. 편의점에서 컵라면을 쏟는 등 업무 방해 혐의로 기소돼 출국도 금지됐는데 이후 생활고를 겪고 있다는 소식이 전해졌습니다. 소말리의 재판 과정 등을 알려온 한 유튜버
Quoting your boy legal mindset, baby. Quoting your boy legal mindset. I love it. Keep clipping me. By the way, in my interview today with Korean News, because we'll talk about that afterwards, I gave them full permission to take all of my clips and all of my footage and any of my images and anything on the internet about me and use it when they're making articles about Johnny Somali. So I fully released my information for everybody to use.
가 소말리 지인이 보낸 메시지를 공개했는데요. 변호사 비용이 너무 부담스럽다며 후원을 요청하는 내용이 담겼습니다.
So this is remember. This is Korean News. What are they focusing on? They're focusing on the fact that he is out of money. So to Koreans, it is hilarious that he is out of money, that he's broke, that he's begging on Telegram. And this is Hank's begging text, begging for money, saying, "Oh, Johnny has a travel ban. He's gonna starve. He's gonna starve if you don't pay for these fees. Oh, the fees are too much. Oh no. Oh no. Yes. It's great.
출국 금지 상태인 소말리는 한국에서 일도 할 수 없다며 지인인 자신이 도와주지 않으면 굶어 죽을 것이라고 덧붙였습니다. 지난해 9월 입국해 한국을 비하하고 조롱하는 콘텐츠를 제작하고 재판 과정에서도 불량한 태도를 보인 소말리. 폭행과 마약 등의 혐의로도 경찰에 고발된 상태인데요. 소말리 근황이 전해지자 누리꾼들은 자업자득이라는 반응을 내놓고 있습니다. 서경덕 성신여대 교수는 소말리의 처참한 몰락이라며
So what they're saying there, and by the way, understand that sometimes in Korean, the pronouns don't come out right, so they don't translate he and she correctly. So sometimes they're so when it's translated she, that actually is he. That's because of the Korean language and the translation of pronouns. So understand that was really he. So what the professor was saying is it's his own fault. So meaning him running out of money is his fault. So let's understand the Korean mindset. The Korean mindset is you should have thought about your finances before you effed around. What the professor is saying in a very polite way is FAFO. You messed around and now you are financially finding out, which I couldn't agree with more.
재판 중인 소말리에게 강력한 처벌을 내려 선례를 만들어야 한다고 강조했습니다.
I love this news setup.
이어서 이슈 클릭입니다. 한국은 이제 외국인들에게 꽤 인기 있는 관광지 중 하나가 됐죠. 그런데 한국을 찾은 일부 외국인 유튜버들의 행동이 논란이 되고 있습니다.
And by the way, to be very clear about this, so they're expanding the issue to a broader issue, which is exactly my point, is that this is not just about Ramsey, this is about all the nuisance streamers. And also understand in Korea, they use the word YouTubers, but that word really means streamers. So it includes Kick, it includes Twitch, it really includes all platforms, but they literally use the word YouTube. So like YouTubeeso, right? Like it's a YouTuber, right? Like they're talking like YouTuber is like what you talk about somebody, even if they did Twitch, you might call them like a YouTuber, right? They just use that general term. So just understand that. So they're connecting the dots that this is going to be a problem with other streamers, which is exactly what we wanted them to connect.
외국인 유튜버가
So we got this guy, Black Ass Dave, who swears he didn't assault somebody, but it looks like from the video that he did, which they're going to play again here. He fled Korea. He had to flee Korea after this incident here.
다짜고짜 한 남성에게 다가가 카메라를 들이댑니다. 이 남성의 불쾌한 표정이 카메라에 포착되더니 이내 두 사람 사이 물리적 접촉이 생긴 듯 카메라가 흔들립니다. 남성은 바로 차를 타고 떠났지만 유튜버는 남성을 향해 거친 욕설을 퍼붓습니다. 이 장면은 호주 인터넷 방송 플랫폼을 통해 고스란히 생중계됐는데요. 이후 외국인 유튜버가 한국인을 폭행한 게 아니냐는 비난이 소셜 네트워크를 통해 확산하고 있습니다. 비슷한 시기에 입국한 또 다른 유튜버 역시 김치는 역겹다. 일본이 위안부를 통해 한국인에게 좋은 유전자를 줬다는 등 비하 발언.
Do you see what they're looking at these statements, and they're looking at these disgusting statements they're making about Korean food, about the comfort women. It's disgusting. They don't like it. They don't want these people to be here. And any way they can stop them, they're trying to stop them. Once again, I want to say we got some huge chats, so I want to give some credit here. Bob gave a $50 chat, so I'm going to have to stop it. That's a big one for 50, saying a good strategy is about giving your opponent a dilemma, not just one problem. South Korea's strategy is working. He has to do illegal things to try to stay afloat currently while increasing the size the hammer of justice hitting him. Exactly. And by drawing more attention on him, it's putting more pressure to give him a harsh sentence. So the system is digging him deeper and deeper and deeper. Absolutely. Danny, thank you for the 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Isabel Duncan, welcome as a new member, and Baked Buddhist, welcome with the 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much. Let's continue with this video, which once again, I don't think any non-Koreans have even looked at this video, and this is crazy in how much insight it gives you into the Koreans' point of view.
논란을 가중시키고 있는데요. 이처럼 외국인 유튜버들의 만행이 잇따르자 서경덕 성신여대 교수가 일침을 가했습니다. 서 교수는 자신의 SNS에 한국에서 평화의 소녀상에 입맞춤을 하는 등 온갖 기행을 서슴지 않았던 조니 소말리의 영향이 크다며 현재 형사재판 중인 그에게 강력한 처벌을 내려 본보기를 만들어야 한다고 지적하면서 민폐 유튜버들의 추방까지 주장했습니다.
미국 국적의 한 남성 유튜버가 평화의 소녀상에 입맞춤을 하는 등 부적절한 행동을 하며 논란이 일고 있습니다.
So back from general nuisance streamer to specifically Johnny. By the way, I freaking love this Johnny face here with like the shocked Johnny face. It's kind of like the FAFO face. I do like this clip. That's why I used it as my thumbnail today.
결국 경찰 수사가 진행되며 이 남성에겐 출국 정지 조치가 내려졌는데 오늘 다른 유튜버에게 폭행을 당하는 일도 벌어졌습니다. 이원희 기자입니다.
한 외국인 남성이 편의점에서 컵라면을 쏟고 면을 집어던집니다. 평화의 소녀상에 입맞춤하는 모습을 SNS에 올린 이 남성. 지하철에선 음란물을 틀고 지나가는 여성에게 성희롱성 발언.
So they see what they got there, guys? Focus on what they got there. Played pornography on the subway. This is something that I said was a crime, and they're calling it out too. And they're saying, yep, that's an issue, right? That's an issue. Remember, Johnny thought he could get away with that because it's text speech. Nope. Just because it's somebody else sent it doesn't get you away with it, right? B. Bryant gifted 10 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you. And remember, the thing about the pornography too that was played on the subway was that he got several sexual messages. So at no point when he had the power to turn it down, we know he does, we've seen him turn it down, we've seen him do that. At no point did he decide to turn it off or turn it down when he was getting sexual messages. In fact, he decided to turn it up to the max. In fact, he literally talked to his chat. His chat said, oh, we think you're turning it down and you're cheating us. He said, no, I have the volume maxed out. So he actually verbally said, I have it maxed out as he was playing pornography, sexual content on the subway, and also in front of children at Lotte World. He had the volume maxed out. and he was excited to go around kids and play sexual messages. Landlocked Seagulls gifted 20 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Absolutely great. Thank you.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
Please like the video. Let's continue.
합니다. 이 남성은 미국 국적의 유튜버 조니 소말리로 해당 영상은 모두 유튜브를 통해 실시간 방송됐습니다. 결국 편의점에서 난동 부리는 등 업무를 방해한 혐의로 경찰이 소말리를 입건했습니다. 소말리는 출국 정지 조치됐는데 오늘 오전엔 서울 송파구의 한 거리를 지나가다 한 한국인 유튜버에게 폭행을 당했습니다. 유튜버 남성은 이곳 건물을 따라 나와 소말리를 때렸습니다. 이후 신고를 받고 출동한 경찰에 현행범으로 체포됐습니다.
So this is the confrontation with Dalgun. So he's talking about the place where Dalgun followed him out and took him out.
먼저 와가지고 대기하고 있었죠. 여기 고시원인데 뭐 하루 빌려주고 막 그런 건가 봐요.
소말리는 걸어서 병원에 갈 정도의 가벼운 부상을 입은 것으로 알려졌습니다. 앞서 소말리는 지난 24일과 27일에도 유튜브 라이브 방송 도중 다른 시민들에게 폭행을 당했습니다. KBS 뉴스 이원입니다.
평화의 소녀상에 입을 맞추는 외국인 남성.
Do you see how long this segment is, guys? Do you see how much information has gone out? Before we would have 10 seconds of Somali. Look at how long this is. We're only halfway done. This is how, this shows you the level of interest. This shows you exactly how much they are really focused on this and why continued coverage of this issue is leading to consequences for Ramsey. Because the pressure has never been let off. Because the pressure has constantly been on him. I've talked about the Somali cycle, right? Because there's never been a break in the news coverage. He hasn't gotten away with it. He gets away with it because people take pressure off of him, because there's no coverage, because he kind of is able to kind of slink back into the darkness, and because of that he will get away with stuff. But that is not happening this time. And let me pull this off real quick and just show you guys what I'm talking about when I talk about Somali cycle here, because some of you may have not gotten that memo or gotten this PowerPoint, and I'm very proud of my PowerPoints. I'm very proud of my PowerPoints, or rather my Canva presentations, right? But you can see here, normally what happens with Johnny is he acts out, rage ensues, no coverage, the heat dies down and he escapes. That's what happens normally with Johnny. But now, because of our coverage, and this is what happened in Japan, by the way, the heat dies down, he got away with a slap on the wrist. Now we've got cabbages, we've got Korea. And in Korea, he is acting out, rage is ensuing, but we are covering it and it's going viral. And not just on my channel, on other channels. It's getting all around. In all the clip channels and all the other channels, it is getting around, going viral. Koreans are clipping my channel. Other people are clipping this. They're translating it. And the pressure on him is increasing. And because of that, because of this new cycle, the cabbage cycle, we'll call it, it is becoming worse and worse and worse for him in South Korea. And he is absolutely in some trouble because that is the new cycle, that is the new norm, not what he's used to in other places. And that's why he hates me, because of that.
온갖 추태와 부적절한 행동으로 무리를 빚은 미국 국적의 유튜버 조니 소말리입니다. 편의점에서 컵라면을 쏟는 등 업무 방해 혐의로 기소돼 출국도 금지됐는데 이후 생활고를 겪고 있다는 소식이 전해졌습니다. 소말리의 재판 과정 등을 알려온 한 유튜버가 소말리 지인이 보낸 메시지를 공개했는데요. 변호사 비용이 너무 부담스럽다며 후원을 요청하는 내용이 담겼습니다. 출국 금지 상태인 소말리는 한국에서 일도 할 수 없다며 지인인 자신이 도와주지 않으면 굶어 죽을 것이라고 덧붙였습니다. 지난해 9월 입국해 한국을 비하하고 조롱하는 콘텐츠를 제작하고 재판 과정에서도 불량한 태도를 보인 소말리. 폭행과 마약 등의 혐의로도 경찰에 고발된 상태인데요. 소말리 근황이
And let me
전해지자
skip ahead here because some of this is repetitive, but I want to get to there's a little part here, I think, towards the end. Yes, that shows some other information. So let's skip back here. Yeah, this is a good one. Okay.
합니다. 이 남성은 미국 국적의 유튜버 조니 소말리로 해당 영상은 모두 유튜브를 통해 실시간 방송됐습니다.
So towards the end, they get into him sexually harassing women, which I think is a big deal with this because you see a lot of his behavior has been directed towards women and children. He's directed a lot of this targeted specifically at women and children. And this is a big issue because he's targeting people that are weak. He's targeting people that are vulnerable. He's targeting people that he thinks he can take advantage of, children, which is not okay, not permissible. And no country should have to allow that. And the Korean media is on it. They're doing these long segments on it. So I just want to say the Korean news knows, the Korean people know, and that's why we're titled Korean Knows He Must Pay. The Koreans themselves are understanding we have to punish this guy. We need to do this. And it's getting big. Now, I'm going to talk about my interview. Now, I'm not going to spoil everything I said. It's coming out Wednesday morning in Korea. So Wednesday morning, a big news outlet. This is major news. It's like if I was on Fox or CNN or MSNBC or something in the U.S. It's like a very big outlet had an interview with me. It should be aired on Wednesday morning. A segment about this. I don't want to spoil it, but I'll do a review Wednesday night. We're going to go over what I said, the questions, the process, people talking to me, my thoughts on it, why I answered in a certain way. That's coming up on Wednesday. But before I talk a little bit just about that, let's get some of this. Wolf and Wings became a new member. Welcome. Patrick Kennedy, one of my OGs, says, popping in and realized I had a 3-year membership milestone. Howdy, chat. Hey, Patrick. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Love you. Appreciate you. Thanks for always supporting me, brother. Blacklight. For one illegal my submission, thanks. Mr. Holland for 10 said Japanese police are great. 2 weeks into my year in Akigawa, I went to Yokohama and got separated from friends. 7-Eleven cashier asked me to stand outside. Cops couldn't have been more friendly. That's awesome. I love to hear that. Once again, cops in Asia are very helpful if you're not a criminal. Ray Olby said, in the last comparison, RKI is Sneeko prancing his toy pistol while sitting under the hotel cuck chair. LM like Moist with an M16 lecturing RKI on what's a clip in a mag, making Ramsey look stupid. That's hilarious. Invader Talk says 14 months. So how long does Lotte World have to file charges? They already have. The Lotte charges are in. They're in officially. So they're coming. Don't worry. Lotte World is coming. Catty Not Cat says, I've been watching too many streams. Something ridiculous happened at work. And I'm like, the oh hell nah played in my head. Well, we just got to get it in your head yet again.
Oh, hell no. Oh.
Hell nah. Donnie said, can we expect Johnny and Hank to write their romance novel, 50 Shades of Cabbage, if they were literate? I mean, Hank can barely speak English or Korean. Damo for 5, Aussie, says, thanks, Andrew. Appreciate your diligence. He's a definitely loose unit. Safety first, legend. Big ups to you and your team. Yeah, we're all, my priority is safety first. Also, it is having a professional standard. We are all professionals on the Somali conviction team. Myself, Dr. Ulrich, my translators, we keep things above and beyond. We keep things legal. We keep things above board. I'm not afraid of them suing me for defamation. I'm not afraid of them doing anything to me. But I do keep everything above board, and I try to make sure everybody's safe, and we do everything the right way. And it takes a little bit more time. It takes a little bit more money, but it's worth doing things the right way. Scrimer, you for 50 Swedish krona says, how are the Korean police? Any risk RKI is going to fall down a set of stairs 5 times in a row? No. That's not going to happen. I'm here for the scuff for 5 says, I'm a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Diggity, diggity, dig. Diggity, diggity, dig. I'm a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Diggity, 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 diggity hole. Digging a hole. Marshall Jed Cooper says, RKI won't starve. Hank is always filling his mouth. That is disgusting. Cy XX71 says, where's Gino? He disappeared. Gino has been home for a while. Gino fled quickly, and he got out right before he got charges filed against him. He got very lucky. Dart Masha, did Algun actually get fined? Need verification? Yes. So far, he has been fined about 2 million won. He expects to be fined another 8 million. So he expects the total to be 10 million. Yes, that is official. That is now official. Gen X role model said, are you pursuing charges? I am putting the information to prosecutors. Let's just say it that way. I'm not going to tip my hand on exactly how I'm doing it. Isabel Duncan says, the saga of the emotionally damaged cabbage. And you said it twice, so thank you twice. Phoenix says, to quote Archer, phrasing, Korean media on top of RKI just sounds so wrong. Should be more like Korean news media has hard-hitting news on the fall of RKI. That's true. That's true. Wojo for 5 says, I bet RKI thinks when he's in prison there will be a phone in his cell and he can still stream. My bad joke of the day. He cannot stream at all from prison. That's not happening. Hazarat says, I hope you can return to your apartment soon. Yes, the earthquake damage is being repaired, so I have to be out of my apartment till May 10th. Until May 10th, I have to be out while they repair the earthquake damage. It really sucks, but that's life. I'll be in a different apartment tomorrow night, so you'll see me streaming from somewhere different. But I'll be back in my place after the 10th. It happens. Gemma says, hi, Andrew. Hey, Gemma. How's it going? CCPT Tech says, hey, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well, thank you. It's good to see you here, CCPT Tech. I hope you're doing well. And shout out to all the, shout out to Pakistan. Wolf and Wing says, American streamer, U.S. doesn't claim him. No, we do not claim him. JK for Aussie 1499 says, legal mindset is in his way to becoming the world's most liked lawyer legal advisor. Thank you. I just want to be in this niche of helping people out and getting rid of nuisance streamers. And I try to make my channel entertaining and educational. I also do streaming primarily. So I will never make these small videos except for clips of my live stream. If you don't like the live stream format, wait for the clips. They come out within 24 to 48 hours. You'll have clips of my video and you'll be able to check those out. Some people don't like long streams, but that's my format and I'm not going to change it. I'll get this last one, then I'll talk about the interview. David Ouellette says, I'm so tired of these nuisance streamers trying to feed their fragile masculinity by making Westerners look bad. Thanks for fighting back. Yeah, and they're trying to like sexually, like they're doing a lot of harassment of women, unwanted harassment of women here. And look, I'm all for, look, if you want to talk to somebody respectfully, that's fine. You know, you can go out and approach somebody and talk to them, say, hey, what's up? My name is X, and have a perfectly normal conversation. But these people go up and they're absolutely disgusting and vile, and the things they talk about and say are nasty, and they're unwanted and they're disgusting. And they deal with a lot of harassment. If you look at a lot of these people, they actually end up catching charges, usually on stuff related to their sexual behavior when they are traveling. So it's really vile and disgusting. And a lot of these nuisance streamers, frankly, should have their passports revoked, straight up. All right. So let's talk about the interview a bit, and then I'm going to get the rest of these super chats. So I had an interview with a major news network this morning. They provided me with a list of questions, which I answered all of them. I actually gave them my answers beforehand, and then they asked me some surprise questions. About half of them were surprise questions, but they were easy enough and they were simple to have. But I want to give some basic takeaways about the Korean media. The Korean media is following this now. They're following my channel for sure. They know that I am the source of the information on this. And that all the original stuff comes from my channel and my team, the Somali Conviction team, and that all the other people are kind of taking my information, repackaging it, and clipping it, which I fully authorize them to do and have no problem with, as long as they are doing it legally, as long as they're not breaking any terms of service on YouTube. You can do whatever you want with my info. But that said, it is clear that they are laughing their ass off about him running out of money. This running out of money thing is hilarious to them. They think when we brought that up, they were laughing, I'm laughing. It is so funny that the system was designed to do that, and that's exactly what it's doing. So a lot of people, they think, because we've seen Vitali, that everything should work like the Philippines. The Philippines has its strategy, and it speed ran the game, and it completed it in a speed run. South Korea, as people have said, are the completionists. They do all the side quests before they finish the main quest, and they drain the person of those resources. So in a way, it's worked out perfectly according to the Korean way. So I get that, they get that, we know what's going on here. We also know that people noticing about this, the media picking this up, is going to influence the trial itself. It's going to influence the prosecutor. It's going to influence the judge. It's going to influence the going on, not in a bad way, but in sense of sentencing. In sentencing, they can take the impact on Korea as a whole into account, and they will. They very much will. And he can cry all he wants about being made an example of. He should have thought about that before he effed around. Max Power for €5 says, how likely will it be that RKI writes his bestseller, Mein Kolkov, My Cabbage, in prison? That's hilarious. RW for $9.99 says, it makes me embarrassed that these creeps call themselves American. Well, Hank is not an American. Hank is a South Korean. He tried to be an American, but he caught 7 felonies. He will never be an American, ever. He is not an American. I wonder if I will be lumped in with them if I travel. Apologies, Asia. You will not if you are respectful and polite. Be respectful and polite, and you will never be lumped in with them. Ryobi says, was I done? I lied. Hank is Vox and RKI is Luca. Oh, God. When the two are together alone, I bet you that RKI would change into his girl voice the way he's screaming all the time because he wants his cabbage whole filled. Ew, 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 ew. Mr. Gilbert says, is like Sky Lane escaping the Philippines? Yes, Sky Lane, Vitali's cameraman, has escaped to Taiwan. I hope they seriously charge him as a wanted felon who escaped the police. I hope they go hard on him. I really do. Shenanigan Pixel for 35 ZR says, so Johnny is renting a boat now. He is a Somali pirate. He talked about fleeing to international waters. We'll see how that would not work at all. And I've got a video on that out there. All right. Cryosite says, what's the best way to donate? PayPal, PayPal/Dalgun. He's got something out there, so you can donate that way if you want to support him. Blue Hawk says, get Ice Poseidon next for his 500K crypto scam. Now, I think, who was it? Who's the guy? Oh, God. Remind me, chat. Who's the guy who covers a lot of crypto scams and he wears the suspenders and he does the, oh, God, why is my mind blanking on huge, massive YouTuber? Coffeezilla. I think Coffeezilla has all, thank you, guys. My mind blanked for a second. I got, hold on. I had to do one of these.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
My mind needed one of those to reset. Thank you, guys. I think Coffeezilla already did an expose on that. So I think I can't do anything better than Coffeezilla. He is the god of that. So shout out to Coffeezilla. So if you want information on that, you can go over to that channel. I think he knows more about that than even I do. So like as a lawyer, I'm honest about the areas where I'm strong and weak. And cryptocurrency, scams and regulation is relatively new. He actually probably knows more about the consequences there. I would love to do a collaboration with him on that. If he wants to do a collaboration on the consequences there, that would be interesting. Or we could not talk just about IP, but we can make it about cryptocurrency fueling the nuisance streamers and cryptocurrency as a way that's being used to support criminal activity. So we could talk about it that way. I would love to reach out to him and do that. That'd be cool. That'd be a great collab if he's willing to do it. That'd be fun. Let's see here. Danny says RKI can stream from his cell. He needs to go in with a hidden pocket phone. Where's he going to hide that? Ty Win for 5 says, will you sue Johnny for defamation? He has accused you of some very disgusting behavior. I'm not going to reveal any of my strategies against Johnny. I'll just say this. A lot of people over my YouTube career have said nasty things. People will say crazy things. All people have said crazy things that are baseless and warrantless. I have a policy to not give it my attention, to not promote it, give it my attention or make it matter. If I'm going to do something, I will just sue them and I won't say a thing about it. Right? Unlike other people that don't know how to shut up when there's an active case, I know how to shut up. I would just sue them and not say anything about it. So I'm not going to talk about my strategies, like personal, individual strategies for myself, right? I'm going to wait on those. And when I want to take the headshot, I take the headshot. I don't just go to wound somebody or whatever. I'm going for a headshot or nothing, right? Or I just ignore it. Because frankly, when somebody says something mean about you, it only has the power you give it. And frankly, I don't care what bunch of crazy people on the internet say. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't hurt me or affect the reality, right? People can say whatever they want about you. They can say you're from Mars. That doesn't make you from Mars, right? You know it's not true. So just ignore it. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff from crazy people. And by the way, most of these stuff they accuse you of is a projection. So a lot of the stuff that they will say, it's actually about them. So when you listen to what they say, almost always they are the ones guilty of those crimes. So it's, what is that, the old, if you point a finger, 3 fingers are pointing back at yourself, right? It's almost always the case that they're the ones guilty of those crimes. Seriously. Zero Edge Daniel says some chatters don't get the Korean strategy. It's okay. Look, not everybody's going to agree with it. We all, look, guys, when it comes to crime and punishment, it is heavily influenced by culture. Your culture of your country, even within your state, if you're in the United States, Texas versus California. Let's think about that. 2 wildly different cultures about crime and punishment. And if you're in a situation in which there needs to be punishment, 2 different people will view what needs to happen different ways. So I understand you can disagree, and it's okay to disagree. It's okay. But understand, Koreans are okay with this system. They like at least in general, that's the system that Korea created. So they are okay with that strategy. V-Red Fox for €5 says, in prison, RK will be a celebrity. Ramsey said, looking back, I think RK was trying to look like MGK because Ramsey is looking to get kill-shotted, and MGK may be forced to change like iDubbbz. Oh man, so much internet references there. Big Buddhist for 5 says, I noticed the translation, Korea is still using the term SMS for text. Yes, I haven't seen SMS used in forever. They use it all the time. They use SMS all the time. Who cares says on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being totally not screwed, 10 being royally, how screwed? A 9. He's a 9 right now. He's a 9. Colt Kid said, enter the cabbage zone. Dun, 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 da, 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 da. Gen X says, when he was running away from the cops screaming about winning the race, he looked like a cross between Wolfie Caletti and Mr. Ed, the horse. Woe just said, for 5, when RK cuts out the cabbage from his diet so he doesn't go into withdrawals, will he have to wear a cabbage patch?
Emotional cabbage.
No, Lolo Gator. Just no. No. The answer is no. Bad Lolo Gator. In fact, whenever I get this question. No.
Wait.
And the insanity plea too. Without streaming, he'll go insane. Ty Win for 10 says, have you met Chef Rush? No, I would love to meet him. I would love to meet Chef Rush. He seems really cool. He does a lot of videos eating Korean food with Korean content creators. How do you think Johnny's behavior affects black men? I think that Koreans are smart enough and they know that it's not all black people and it's not all people of a certain race or look. They know it's Johnny. And look at my interviews. Go watch my interview with Dalgun. Go watch my interview with J Company. Go watch my video with Bang TV. Those guys, the Korean streamers, they all know it's not all Americans. Look, I'm an American too. So Johnny and I could not be more completely different, right, from each other, right? Some people will stand up for Korea and will back them up, even when we're threatened, even when I get personal threats against myself. I'm not afraid to stand up and back up Korea and to back up the expats, to back up tourists, to stand for this. I don't care. I don't care if they defame me. I don't care what they do. Literally, there's nothing they can do that's going to stop me from covering this, period. Now, some people say that, okay, I see somebody in chat saying, I disagree, I think it got worse. I don't think this is how I think it gets worse. Let me put it this way. I think that people in America are scared. And I think that's the real damage. The damage is that people in America are now scared to go to Korea. That is the damage that RKI did. And that is indeed true, that people are scared. He did do that. But Koreans know that he doesn't represent all people of a certain race, whatever. They know that. Right? Gemma said, how do you know I'm not from Mars? Oh no, here we go. Phoenix says for 20, the difference between RK and Legal Mind says RK is like the fuse blasting instantaneous popping of quickly without a thought in his head. LM is like the M700 time fuse, a long, slow burn, culminating in an effective result. Thanks, I like that. Thomas Dixon says, is Johnny going to get a regular prison time or be forced to labor? It's very possible he'll be forced into labor, but we will see. Big Buddha says the chat has spoken. CoffeeZilla and Legal Mindset stream, make it so. That'd be awesome. Sepsboy 2 says, will you be covering the SAG after VA strike? If I get time to do it, but this needs to slow down a lot. Also, Isabel says, we need a plushie for the emotional cabbage. I know. I need to work on that. Marsha says, PowerPoint Mindset lays hands if his format is dissed. I love the PPs. Bob says, SK's strategy is probably to ensure RKI can never be a streamer again. Yes. He has to potentially pay even after he ends his sentence, and his audience will move on and be aged out. It's scorched earth. Yes. The slower they burn this, the more he is dead in the water as a streamer forever. Yes. Grandmaster 5 says, I know how to shut up. Keeps talking for 5 minutes. Q. Emotional damage. Hold on.
Emotional damage.
Dabhan Masterson says, I sent a grasping in Somalia's force. Terp says, RKI should be charged for calling the police. Yeah, well, they may not understand that or they may not care, to be honest. Megan Morris says he might have an STI. His brain is Swiss cheese. Uric says, so he's trying to plead insanity? Tywin says, can Hank be prosecuted? Maybe. It's maybe. KWD said, South Korea should make a statue of him outside of his jail. No, he did not deserve a statue. He does not deserve a statue. Maybe a cabbage statue, but not of him. Hound of the Lowman says, how would I send a story to you? Send it to my email, andrewesquirelive@gmail.com, or to my ex. You can also do that, or leave it as a comment. Tell me in the comments what stories you want me to cover. Guys, we've had a long show today. It's been awesome. It's been based. Thank you guys so much for being here. Appreciate everybody that joined. We are going to have, obviously, a review on Wednesday coming out. We're going to have more stuff coming. I appreciate everybody being here. There's one last comment. Tara says, Z does crypto, cabbage, Z does jail time. Thank you. All right. Until next time, guys, stay based, and we know what Ramsey's going to be doing tonight, and that's a whole.
You are caught in the ceiling. You just can't believe what you're seeing. Yes, you're caught in the ceiling. The truth it is all day, and now you are more.